Right, so you're engaged. Amazing. You must be bursting with excitement. That newly engaged bubble is really a dream. But now you're thinking, what actually happens next? Just to make sure you've got everything covered, let's talk about it. Welcome, my loves, to the Curated Wedding. I'm Nasli and I run an award-winning wedding venue where we have hosted hundreds of beautiful wedding days. I've also recently gotten married myself, so I'll be spilling my insider secrets and top tips from both sides of the aisle so that we can discuss the art of a curated wedding. So if you're interested, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of my weekly wedding tips. Today we'll go through 9 things to do as soon as you get engaged so that you can rest assured you've got it all covered and make the most of this truly magical time. Number 1 is to take it all in. After getting engaged, it's important to take a moment to let it all sink in. This is a really special time in your life, filled with excitement and anticipation for what's to come. As a newly engaged couple, there might be a million things that you'd like to do after you get engaged, but my advice to you is to really cherish this phase and enjoy the journey together. Plan some time for just the two of you, whether it's a dinner at your favourite restaurant or a weekend getaway. It's really important to give yourselves time to enjoy it, take in the big news, and just be in your own little engaged bubble before getting back to the real world. Proposals abroad are gaining popularity lately, and perhaps because the thrill of being away from the everyday routine adds an extra touch of magic to the moment. Of course, it also provides the perfect opportunity to enjoy some private time and savour the experience. However, you can still recreate that same special feeling at home by making an effort to slow down and make the moment truly memorable. If possible, consider taking a weekend or a few days off of work to spend some quality time together. You will not regret it. Number 2 is to tell family and friends in your own time. When it comes to sharing the exciting news of your engagement with your family and friends, my advice is simple. Do it on your own terms and in your own time. While the urge to immediately post a dazzling ring selfie on Instagram might be tempting, I gently advise you to pause and think about it. Take a moment to consider how you want to deliver this amazing news and who you'd like to share it with. You might find that you actually want to tell a few special people yourselves before you share the news with the whole world online. You might wish to give special family members a call or FaceTime your best friend and show off your new ring. You could even plan a dinner or a brunch gathering if you wanted to tell a few people in person. There are so many ways to share the news, and I'm sure your selected few will feel so touched that they've heard the news from you personally before it goes online to everyone. Now, this is a big note when it comes to sharing, but if you want to tell your family and friends yourselves, remind those that you speak to keep it to themselves, as hard as it might be. It sounds so silly and so simple, but if they don't know that it's important for you to tell your loved ones personally, they might just beat you to it without even meaning to. I definitely know that's what would happen in my own family, and it's just because exciting news travels really, really fast. Now, if you don't immediately feel like sharing, that is absolutely fine too. Even though I had a sneaky suspicion my husband was going to propose around the time that he did, it still really blew me away when the actual moment came. I really wanted to keep the news just between us and our inner circle for a little while. I really enjoyed those blissful few days, and I was so excited to share the news with everyone else when we were ready. If this is you, I want you to feel completely comfortable taking your time. It might feel like there's a lot of pressure to broadcast to the world immediately, but don't forget, this is your special news and your love story. It should be on your terms. I would encourage you to keep the magic private for a little while, if that's what feels right for you. If you're watching this and you're not yet engaged, you might not know which you'd prefer until you get to the moment itself, and that is absolutely fine. As much as I love planning, when it comes to things like this, you really can't plan how you're going to feel. You'll just have to be really present in the moment and take it as it comes. Number 3 is to set boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries. Now, this is a really great skill to learn because, spoiler alert, you're going to need it all the way through the wedding planning process too. So we might as well start strengthening the boundary muscle right after your engagement from the very start. Right, as soon as you start sharing the news about your engagement, brace yourself for an avalanche, a flood, a tidal wave, if you will, of wedding-related questions from excited friends and family. Now, this is of course very sweet, but it can also be super overwhelming. I've worked with so many couples who felt really stressed and really anxious because they didn't know the answers to all of these questions right from the start. And I'm here to tell you that that's absolutely fine. Most people don't know the answers. Set boundaries with people and let them know that you're taking your time to enjoy your engagement bubble before diving into the wedding planning. Please resist the pressure of talking about the wedding at all if it just feels a little bit premature at the moment. Planning a wedding is a really big and exciting project, but it's one that I'm sure you'd like to take your time and choose each element of. It's not something that you're going to want to rush. Your engagement season is a really sweet time for you and your partner to bask in the joy of being engaged, committing yourselves together without the stress of immediate wedding preparations. So as hard as it might be, don't let anyone's overexcited questions make you feel any differently. Number 4 is no promises. Now this one might seem a little dramatic, and perhaps it is a bit dramatic because I haven't seen it anywhere else, but it is my genuine advice. Make no promises. Say it with me, make no promises. As soon as you get the ring on your finger, you're going to be buzzing with excitement and adrenaline, but here's the deal, your wedding vision is still going to be quite hazy. We haven't yet planned or secured any of it. So as exciting as it might be to ask your friend to be your bridesmaid, or ask your aunt to do a reading, or even using a family member something borrowed, or a song choice, I would suggest that you don't. Give yourself some time in the following months to figure out the wedding puzzle, exactly how you'd like it and exactly how you're going to make it happen before making any promises to anyone. Things inevitably change over time, and usually your wedding planning is going to span a period of months to years. The more you expose yourself to different options, you may find that you're drawn to different ideas entirely, and it is really, really difficult to take something back from someone after you've offered it to them. Your loved ones will still be just as touched and flattered anytime you ask them, and you can plan something intimate and special for that too. So just take in and really enjoy this moment for what it is, knowing that there will be so many more things to celebrate along the wedding planning journey as well. Number 5 is to adjust your ring size. This is a practical but important one. Let's talk ring size reality check. As obsessed as you might be with your new ring, if it is not 100% the right fit, you'll have to get it resized, no matter how hard parting with it may be. Your partner has most likely chosen a really exquisite ring, putting thought and care into choosing a truly meaningful piece. Believe me, the last thing you would want is for it to fall off your finger, or the opposite, not to be able to get it on comfortably at all. So resizing is a really big thing that we need to consider. First of all, you need to ascertain if your ring actually needs resizing. Your fingers may swell with all the excitement, totally normal, no judgment over here, but the weather also affects your finger size, with warmer weather generally making your fingers swell, and colder weather generally making your fingers contract a little more. So if you're not sure whether your ring needs resizing, wait a little while, try it for a few more days and see how you feel. It may well be that your ring is the perfect size after all. But if you do need resizing, you want to make sure that you're taking it to a reputable jeweler. It will be a good idea to go to the one that the ring was purchased from, but to be honest, most jewelers should be able to help you resize it. So if there's a reputable one that's local to you, feel free to go with them too. Let the jeweler know about the kind of fit that you're looking for, ideally not too tight and not too loose. You want to adjust it to suit you while maintaining the integrity of the original piece. Number 6 is to get a manicure. Perhaps you had a sneaky suspicion that you were going to be proposed to and you managed to get a quick manicure beforehand, but if the proposal has completely taken you by surprise, you might want to consider getting a manicure. Now, this isn't for everyone, and of course it doesn't have to be a manicure specifically, but just take some time to do whatever you need to do for your hands to look and feel their best, because you're going to be showing that ring off to a lot of people in the coming weeks. When it comes to choosing a manicure, I've worked with lots of brides who have immediately gone and gotten their nails done in a nude or neutral shade, believing it was the most bridal. This is, of course, the start of your bridal era. But what I want to say is that just because something may be or may feel more conventionally bridal doesn't mean that it's necessarily you. When you get engaged and become a fiancée, a bride-to-be, you don't automatically stop being you. That's not to say that you can't do something different or go for one of these looks, but try and do your own version of bridal, whatever makes you feel the most special and the most comfortable. Some of the brides that I've worked with that initially rushed to get their nails done in this nude neutral shade shortly changed back to the colours that they were used to, because they just didn't feel comfortable and they didn't love the neutral shades on themselves. So if you love dark nails, bright red, or even something quirky with nail art, get whatever makes you feel your best. This, by the way, goes for the rest of the wedding planning process too. It all needs to be reflective of you and you as a couple, and it all starts with the small decisions. Number 7 is the engagement photo shoot. An engagement photo shoot can be really exciting, and if this is something that you'd like, now is the time to book one in. This is the perfect chance to have stunning professional photos taken of you as an engaged couple. These photos can be taken in any location that you'd prefer, with any sort of feel, so you can be as creative as you'd like. You can have them taken in the same place that you had your proposal, this is what we did, or somewhere completely different altogether. Street shoots are really cool locations for this, so definitely one to have a look at. You can be dressed up or dressed down, just make sure that you feel comfortable and you. If you want to save the white dresses for the wedding, you can have fun with different colours. I've seen stunning shoots of the bride and groom, both in black, for example, or you can try a different colour. But if you want to wear white, you can try something a little more casual, perhaps. I chose to wear a white dress, but it wasn't really a bridal look. These photos will be great to use on your wedding invitations and website, not to mention just having them displayed around your house, capturing your love in this magical stage of your lives. Of course, the photographer will have a lot to do with the style as well. You can choose someone who's more formal or more quirky, and of course there's everything in between. If you have an idea of who you would like as your wedding photographer, perhaps you're one of those type A planner girlies, this is a great chance to spend some time with your chosen photographer, getting comfortable with them and getting a sense of how they work. If you haven't started choosing your photographer yet, that is absolutely fine. Just choose someone whose style you love. This will still give you an amazing opportunity to experience posing in front of the camera as a couple. We had a different photographer for our engagement photo shoot as for our wedding itself, and we actually really love having the two different styles of photographs of us. P.S. I promise you, it is not as scary as it sounds. Number 8 is the engagement party. Now, you shared the news, your nails are looking great, and the last thing to consider is an engagement party. An engagement party isn't just a celebration, it is the perfect opportunity to share the joy with your nearest and dearest. It's also the perfect occasion to introduce both sides of the family. You probably know the immediate family really well by now, but one of our favourite parts of our engagement party was seeing our larger family meet and get to know each other. It just made everyone far more excited for the wedding day. An engagement party is the perfect setting for you to soak in all the well wishes and congratulations in a more intimate setting before the whirlwind of wedding planning begins. It doesn't have to be a big or formal affair, it can be something small and relaxed, whatever would mean the most to you and make you feel really special. But either way, it is going to take a little bit of planning. Don't be put off, however, consider this almost a warm-up to the main event for your wedding. When it came to our engagement party, celebrating with all our friends and family was such a precious memory and an incredible way to start the wedding planning season. If you'd like me to put together a video on how to plan an incredible engagement party, give this video a like and leave me a comment down below so that I know it's something that you're interested in. Number 9 is self-care. Engagements can sometimes be overwhelming with the expectations and excitement surrounding them. It is a big change, and even getting used to being a fiancé and having a fiancé is definitely an adjustment. So if changes can be stressful for you, give yourself some time. It doesn't mean that you're not excited or that you're not happy. You might just be a little bit overwhelmed, and that's perfectly fine. You'll find your own way to express your joy over time. Make sure that you're looking after yourselves and practicing self-care. Practice mindfulness, gratitude, meditation, go for walks, try journaling, anything that brings you a little bit more joy and makes you feel centered. A sprinkle of self-care is like magic for the soul. And it would be ideal if you could share some of these activities together, whether it's a spa day for 2 or a cozy night in. Make it a priority and schedule it in regularly. This will keep the two of you connected and refreshed throughout your wedding planning. Now, as for the wedding planning itself, you may have noticed that it wasn't a feature in this video at all. And that's because for me, wedding planning is a completely separate journey, all of its own. And I want to make sure that you fully take in and enjoy your engagement before we move on to that next step. I promise you can still have a fabulous wedding and start planning it a little while after your engagement, just to give you a little bit more time in this moment. If you're not yet engaged, I'm going to link the ideal video for you to send your partner in the description below. It's going to make sure that they have everything they need for the perfect proposal, no excuses. And if you've just gotten engaged, share your engagement story with us in the comments down below. I would love to hear about it. As for more engagement and wedding planning tips, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. But that is it for this video. Thank you for watching and happy planning.